John Baker, the director, found you on Instagram.
Yes, he did.
And now you're the star of a heartbreaking, tragic, hilarious film.
Some think acting in Hollywood should be left to the pros, but little do they know just how many amazing performances have come from total non-actors. That's right, whether it was their first role ever or they lucked into the part, there have been some absolutely incredible acting jobs that have been done by people who never even thought of themselves as actors in the first place. From Henry Golding to Dave Bautista, these awesome first-timers absolutely blew our minds.
Well, at first I said no, and then he said it was £1,000 a day.
When Dave Bautista appeared on screen as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, he was so good that we never knew that he wasn't really an actor. Dave started out as a wrestler, mixed martial artist, and bodybuilder before he made it big wrestling for WWE.
I know something you don't know.
But even though he had a thriving career, he wanted to be an actor more than anything. So he quit wrestling and actually went broke for 3 years before landing the role of Drax, surprising everyone with his hilarity and impressive improv skills.
And I said that I will never go back to wrestling until I prove what I set out to prove, and that was that I could make it as an actor.
It's not uncommon for gorgeous people to make the jump from modeling to acting. I mean, just look at Cara Delevingne and MILA Jovovich. But few have so completely become their characters quite like Hunter Schafer and her heartbreakingly beautiful performance as Jules in Euphoria.
Should I be concerned?
Schafer started out walking important runways like Dior and Marc Jacobs before auditioning for Jules, but that's hardly all she did. Hunter is also a visual artist and LGBTQ rights activist, who once sued North Carolina over a discriminatory bathroom bill.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When you're as famous and universally beloved as singer-songwriter Lenny Kravitz, it's no surprise that you're gonna get a ton of offers. And as it turns out, Lenny actually spent 20 years fending off offers to act in movies before he decided to make an appearance as Cinna in The Hunger Games. And he only did so after meeting the director and reading the first novel, because he told himself that he would never be in a movie just because.
Read the book and fell in love with the book. Couldn't put it down.
While these days we can't imagine a world without Jennifer Lawrence the movie star, if she hadn't clawed her way tooth and nail into the 2010 indie drama Winter's Bone, we might never have known her at all. Before Winter's Bone, Lawrence was working as a model, and when she auditioned for the movie, the director actually thought she was too pretty for the part. So J-Law flew all night to where they were holding the auditions and went in without showering. Apparently it worked because she got the part, and the rest is history.
Some could say I was too attractive for the part. I didn't look right.
When you start out as famous as Harry Styles did in the boy band sensation One Direction, it can be hard to shake the reputation as no more than a teenage heartthrob. So when Harry was cast as Alex, the World War II soldier in Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, audiences everywhere were totally skeptical that he could pull it off. All that changed when we saw the movie and realized just how talented Styles is, on stage and off.
When I kind of heard about this movie, it was something that I feel like I would have been really excited to watch had I not been involved at all.
If you thought Henry Golding looked familiar the first time you watched Crazy Rich Asians, you might be totally surprised to find out that it isn't because he already had a flourishing acting career. Golding had never acted before he was cast as the dashing Nick. Not that you'd ever guess that by his amazing performance. Instead, Golding had been the host of a travel show on the BBC. It wasn't until an accountant working on Crazy Rich Asians saw him on TV and suggested him to the director that he was brought in to audition.
And yes, my family has money, but I've always thought of it as theirs, not mine.
Sometimes directors have to go outside of the normal Hollywood casting offices in order to find the right actors for their movies. And we mean way outside. Take BRIA VINAITE, the incredible actress who rose to fame playing a protective yet troubled mother in the Florida Project. Before the movie, BRIA never even considered being an actor. She was minding her own business selling, hemp-themed clothing over Instagram when the director contacted her via DM.
And it said, "Hey, I emailed you about a film opportunity."
She took 3 weeks of acting classes, and the next thing she knew, she was on the Hollywood A-list.
Can you give me advice about what do I need to do on Instagram to get, spotted?
Long before she ended up a celebrity herself, Jameela Jamil had made a career out of interviewing other celebrities. That's right, before she even considered becoming an actress, Jamil was actually a TV host and interviewer in London on BBC Radio 1. So even though she had plenty of experience on camera, when she stepped onto the set of The Good Place, she had never actually acted before.
I'd never wanted to be on television. I'd never done anything. I had no experience.
Even though most of what goes on in Grey's Anatomy isn't based in real life, one aspect of it is very authentic. And that is the beloved scrub nurse, Nurse Boki. Kathy C., who plays Nurse Boki, is a real-life scrub nurse when the cameras aren't rolling, and still works in medicine in Los Angeles. Before the open casting call went out for the Somali pirate roles in Captain Phillips, Barkhad Abdi sold mobile phones at his brother's shop at a mall in Minneapolis and worked as a limousine driver and as a DJ. All of that changed when he was cast in the role that would earn him an Oscar nomination, working opposite Tom Hanks. It turns out he was only paid $65,000 for the role, even though Captain Phillips grossed over $200 million worldwide, and went back to working with his brother after. But don't worry, he has since developed a thriving acting career.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
In Angelina Jolie's feature directorial debut Unbroken, she wanted to tell the incredible story of Louis Zamperini, an Olympic runner turned war hero turned prisoner of war. In order to do so, she had to cast an amazing actor to play the terrifying antagonist, Sergeant Mutsuhiro Watanabe, aka the Bird. Instead of hiring a friend from Hollywood, Angelina instead chose to cast Miyavi, a very famous Japanese music producer and singer-songwriter who had never acted before, to take on the task of bringing the sadistic sergeant to life.
That's why I wanted to try to put humanity into the character.
In 2018, Alfonso Cuarón's Roma captured the hearts of moviegoers everywhere, in large part due to the amazingly understated performance by Yalitza Aparicio as Cleo. Yalitza was actually a preschool teacher before she was plucked from obscurity and chosen to star in Roma. She was nominated for an Oscar for her part in the film, and nowadays continues to act in Mexico, as well as working as an advocate for the rights of indigenous peoples and domestic workers in Mexico.
Mi mamá me decía, no puedo creer que estés ahí frente a tanta cámara.
While Mariah Carey had actually made her acting debut in 2001's Glitter, we're pretty sure she'd rather we all forget that and focus on her amazing work as Miss Weiss in Precious, which we consider her real acting debut. The part was a complete 180, especially for a megastar who doesn't usually like to be seen by the public unless she's professionally lit and in full makeup.
Oh, there was makeup, it just wasn't meant to look good.
Right, totally non-glam.
When Barbie Ferreira was cast as the ambitious cat in Euphoria, she had absolutely no acting experience under her belt. Instead, she'd been focused on modeling ever since she was a teenager, which might come as a total surprise when you watch the show. She's clearly gorgeous, but an amazing actor right out of the gate.
It was very much based off, me as a teen.
When we think about the fact that Jennifer Hudson not only didn't win American Idol, but she came in 7th, we can barely believe it. And yet, her story is one of the best out there, because not even 2 years after she left the show, she made her acting debut as Effie in Dreamgirls and won her first Academy Award. Take that, Simon and Paula. Now that we know that all of these amazing performances were done by people who had never acted before, we feel like we can go out and win ourselves an Oscar too. Or maybe we should give surgery a try, like Kathy C. What do you think? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.